story begins on the 13th of October 1972. A chartered twin engine plane is carrying a rugby team from Uruguay. The passengers are mainly young athletes from the old Christians Club rugby union team, and they are traveling to play an exhibition match. Now, this match is planned to be played in Chile. If you are aware of the flight path between Uruguay and Chile, you know that it has to pass over one of the roughest mountain ranges of the world. It has to pass over the Andes. The ambience inside the aircraft is jovial to say the least. However, unbeknownst to all the members is a gruesome and harsh reality. And the fact was that their journey is to take a tragic turn. The aircraft, due to navigational error, is about to collide with the mountainous terrain. And so it did. It crash landed high in the snow capped Andes Mountains, marking the beginning of one of the most interesting stories of human survival. In today's episode, we will take a look at the real life story of the miracle of the Andes. Now, the impact of the collision is soon found to be devastating. The plane's tail has been completely severed off, and the fuselage, which is mainly the main body of the plane, has come to rest on a remote glacial valley. 7 passengers have been ejected out during the initial crash, and several more have laid their lives upon impact, including the pilot and the cabin crew. As the survivors regained consciousness, they soon found themselves in a dire situation. Isolated at an altitude of 3,570 meters, that too in sub-zero temperatures. To make matters worse, they are with the least amount of supplies that is required to survive in the condition. And they also have no way to communicate with the outside world. The survivors have to think of a way to act, and that need to be done fast. In a few days' time, around 18 survivors are now alive in the harsh conditions. And they have found their way to survive by using something that we Indians call jugaad. They have made jackets from the seats of the plane to survive, and also sunglasses from the metals to avoid snow blindness. They had also prepared a radio signal receiver that enabled them to receive news about themselves from the various news outlets in the world. The survivors are currently still in the hope that the rescue forces are probably out for them and they are to be found anytime now. But the initial shock soon gave way to a grim reality. Using the receiver, they hear a shocking news. They hear that the search for the missing plane has been called off after just 8 days. Now, this decision had been mainly taken because the rescue forces had no clue about the exact location of the crash, because the white fuselage blended with the snow, making it nearly impossible for the rescuers to spot from the air. And the outside world by now had already made up their minds that all of them were dead. If not by impact, then certainly by the harsh climate. As days turned into weeks, the survivors started facing a moral and existential dilemma. Their limited food supplies have now started to get even shorter. In a controversial situation born of sheer necessity, they chose to sustain themselves on the bodies of their deceased friends and family members. This decision, while initially met with revulsion, was later understood and even respected as a desperate act of survival. Fast forward to few more weeks, and we are about to reach the climax of our thriller. The remaining survivors have lost all hopes of a safe return by now. But the turning point comes when two of the survivors, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, decide to seek help. They embark on a risky journey across the Andes, facing rugged terrain, extreme weather, and the constant threat of death. After 10 days of an arduous trek, they finally get what they were looking for, a sign of life. They very luckily encountered a Chilean shepherd, but the only problem was that neither of them could communicate with each other, as they did not understand the other's languages. And so, the shepherd asked them to wait for his return the following day. Now, this is what the report says, and I have no idea how they made them understand this, but probably it was sign language or something, I don't know. Anyway, coming back to the topic, the shepherd came with the rescue force of the local villagers, which led to the eventual rescue of the remaining survivors. By the time they were rescued, they had spent a whopping 72 days in the Andes, which is actually an unbelievable feat in itself. The story of the Andes survivors is thus a narrative of human resilience. It showcases the incredible lengths to which people will go when faced with danger. The survivors' ordeal lasted for well over 2 months, a period during which they confronted and overcame the very limits of human endurance. We get to know a lot about their experiences, mainly from a book called The Miracle in the Andes, which is written by Nando Grado himself. Was it truly a miracle, or was it a great, great tragedy? It is up to you to decide.